Welcome to another episode of ELEV8 Mdina Partners called Cultivating Peak Performance Under Pressure. I'm your host, Kat, and together with Steve, I would like to welcome our guest, Bernard Micallef Cann, CEO at Malta, as we explore how leaders can harness performing under pressure to drive success and a healthy workplace culture. So Bernard, before we get knee-deep into this, into such an interesting topic, I think it's important for us to understand who you are. And I think your story is one of those that inspires me. So no pressure. What's your story?
I come from a 12 years working in the critical care environment. So I worked as a nurse in critical care. So over there we really practice working under stress, because obviously all the professionals there work tirelessly to save lives continuously, every day, every hour, so it's a 24/7 life-saving place, if you know what I mean. So I started working as a nurse for 12 years in intensive care. I've worked in several hospitals, even privately, and then eventually I went into management. I always liked to challenge myself and taking opportunities that arise cautiously, but I always did the leap of faith. And then eventually I worked for 8 years as general manager in a company where I learned loads of interesting skills on when it came to management. And about 2.5 years ago, I opened my own company that called Malta, that basically takes care of elderly people and people with disability within the community. So we have a team of professionals, of nurses, physios, occupational therapists, and a whole multidisciplinary team that take care of clients within their household. That's basically it.
That's the story.
That's the story.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that story. And to me, this is an interesting story because you've really touched areas of working life that pressure doesn't hide. You don't press pause on a situation in the ITU, and pressure is really a constant companion in that role. So I'd love to understand, how have you managed to perform under such a high stress situation?
Well, first of all, I don't want to sound like I'm a superhero. Managed to do. There were times where it was hard, and there were times where I cracked.
Yeah.
Especially working even abroad in London. Sometimes some stories hit you hard. I mean, especially taking care of terminally ill children or where you struggle to save this life. And no matter what you do with your team, obviously, of doctors and anesthetists trying to save this life, this person loses their life, So it's very hard. Sometimes it's hard. But there are different methods. I personally believe that you have to prepare for stressful environments, and I think planning for it is a crucial thing. You have to keep yourself in a healthy state, having a good nutrition, having a good balance in life of rest. Sleep is very important to get recharge your mind. I always look at this as a glass of water. You have to continuously top it up, because if you wait for it to go till the end, you might finish. You can't top up because you have no time to top it up. So might as well keep topping it up. So when times get tough, you have the time. So even at ITU, we used to do a lot of outdoor activities, trekking activities, even if they're night shift, because physically you'll be exhausted, but mentally you'll be extremely tired. It's much worse.
Yeah.
So I remember the team at intensive care. We used to have nearly every 2 weeks trekking activities, outings, to get out in the outdoor and recharge and just talk about anything that is bothering us and so on. And it used to work wonders, so it helps a lot.
Yes. I think that this point you've mentioned is a super one, because I think there's the wrong impression of resilience is you go at it 300 days at 300%, but it's not. It's actually, even biologically, we need to stop. The whole sleep is there for a reason. The working week is planned for a reason, because we need to unplug to be able to give more. And I think that the fact that you're saying how important that is super. Moving to you, Steve. You've not a nurse, but from what I understand, but have had your fair share of exposure to high pressure roles as well. And maybe you could help us identify personal traits, qualities that you really believe are essential when it comes to performing under pressure. And then my next curiosity here would be, are you just born with them or do you get to develop them?
Good question. I think, first of all, the different people I've met over the years, because pressure, stress means different things to different people.
True.
I'm not talking in the sense, even from Bernard's perspective, of his experience in those type of environments. So I'm only have experience of dealing with people in a business sense, in organisations, if you like. But normally, I think that pressure and stress is where people are feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling they've got too much to do, and not enough time to do it. They're feeling, normally this would lead to them feeling a bit inadequate, lacking confidence. And, you know, you'll see this sort of series of reactions or behaviour by people that are showing these symptoms. And that's when you then get into the cause of how they've reached the state, I think, is one, I couldn't agree with Bernard more, where people don't do enough planning and thinking, you know, the classic, well, what's plan B if something happens? The procrastination, so not making decisions.
True.
You know, there's always a link to me towards people that are under pressure or stress. You'll find that there's been a whole history of procrastination about a particular subject or a number of subjects. So the ability to prioritize and keep focused.
Yes.
So when it comes to traits, personal traits, I think though that, you know, I would sort of immediately say it's to do with this planning, decision making.
Traits that can be developed.
Definitely developed. You would expect me to say that, but no, you know,
it's something we can prepare for. It's
yes,
not.
I think if you went on any stress management training, you know, which again we run as Medina, but the main core of that content is first of all getting people to realise that they are under pressure, because it used to be seen as a weakness many years ago. I'm so pleased that nowadays I think it's talked about a lot more.
Yes.
People feel a lot more freer to actually say, I feel stressed, I feel under pressure, you know. The whole mental health and mental well-being issue is on the table now for discussion. So I think that's fabulous.
Yes.
Now employers, managers, leaders have got to continue to encourage that and do something about it.
Yes. I think you're right. It's valuable that it's on the table. It's valuable that we are in positions now that leaders can say, I need help, which I think at times, and even if I go back to yours, you know, the stories in the night or whatever, you become so desperate to solve the problem that you forget you can actually ask for help. And I think that's a realization we all need to go through. But I would also be cautious that nowadays we're also entering, in my opinion, a bit of a culture where it's attractive to feel stressed. It's almost my job is so big, I'm stressed, which I really want to push away from, you know, especially when you say things like stress is something you can work against, take the decisions at the right time, plan for it. Again, surprises happen, but a lot of it can be managed beforehand.
Especially when you're comparing those statements from corporate people to what Bernard's talking about.
Yes. There's a
life and death.
There's a bigger element of control.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned leaders here, Steve, and this is to me is a curiosity, because as leaders we have a real responsibility to make sure that even our teams can really thrive under this pressure. What do you think, you know, the role of a leader is in making sure they create that right culture?
Well, I think to give training and coaching, I think that's a big, and always, I think from a leader's point of view, is to create the environment where people can talk about how they're feeling. I know I keep saying this, I think on every podcast, but and every interview I give, I keep mentioning this, leaders giving their people time and
Excellent.
time to talk, time to discuss, time to share.
Yes.
I think that's very much a leader's role.
Yeah.
This culture of positivity and supportive network within the environment.
Yes.
I think one of the things that I am really keen about doing is that when I go to my team after, even if though I'm really pressured, I don't say, when they ask me, how are you? I don't say, oh, crazy, very busy, very busy. I try to make myself look at ease. Because if I'm at ease, the team is at ease. If I'm stressed, my stress is going to go to others. So even if I'm stressed, I have to, I've studied a lot of research, and in research we do what we call bracketing. If you do like phenomenological research, you have to kind of bracket your knowledge, put it aside, and go with an open mind towards what you're researching. And to me, this helps a lot, and there's a technique how to do it. To bracket your concerns to go there. Even when I go home, I can't go stressed at home because otherwise everyone gets stressed, So it's the famous thing of you shout with your wife shouts at your kids shout with the dog shouts with the cat kills the bird,
The fish.
or the fish. So I think being in such leadership roles is a big responsibility for us to calm the team and give a sense of security, trusting the team that if they do a mistake, it's okay, let's solve it together. Because when there's stressful environments, if you're in a very stressful environment, mistakes happen. And within the team, that's what we say. When something bad happens, listen, guys, only the people who don't work don't do mistakes, So we're doing mistakes, it's okay. Let's discuss together how to solve it.
Yeah.
And I think creating this environment of a supportive environment within the team helps that when things get tough, then the stuff get going, So it's our motto within the office, And when things and luckily the team performs very well under pressure. In fact, people who thought they were not good at work under pressure now really thrive under pressure. So after we pass through difficult times. And when we think retrospective of what happened, we say, listen, and they acknowledge how much they managed so well within that difficult time. Even though we were really tight with deadlines and tight with challenges which you can't just solve, like that. It takes time, especially with health situations. So
definitely, super. No, it's true. I think what you've brought forward is really, really valuable. Okay, so Steve. And then I'll come to you, Bernard, with the same question. But have you encountered any memorable experiences that really tested your ability to perform under pressure? And I would say, what did you learn?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go back about 38, 9 years ago. Just been given an opportunity to set up a new division with a client. I was in the process of also building and running my own company. My wife at the time was my business partner, who was also accountable for setting up this new division with this client. Sadly, she became critically sick, very sick, in fact, and we just had a baby.
Wow.
So we had this baby, and I could remember, as I look back now on that situation, I was looking at this type of question to answer for you, a complete feeling of helplessness, just overwhelmed by everything, which was very foreign to me. So I up to that point, March, I sort of thought that I could handle everything. And of course, work-wise, when you think you can handle everything,
that's when
as soon as some of the jigsaw pieces are not fitting properly domestically, it threw me.
Okay.
And that taught me one of the lessons that somebody who I now look back with great fondness about, this person gave me the best advice, which was, first of all, I reached out for some help.
Which is not
and that
natural.
help is actually sharing with people I trust that I've got a problem. I've got all these plates spinning and 2 or 3 of them are crashing, So I chopped this up like a stick of salami, which is what I then later went on to use in training sessions about how to handle some stress and pressure. And chopped up this salami into sort of, and the reason they use that example is that, if you give somebody a stick of salami and offer them to eat it, take the first bite and it's a very sickly piece of meat. And that same piece of meat, when you chop it into thin slices, is actually a delicacy sold in delicatessens and is very enjoyable in small, thin slices and small quantities. And that's all about what our challenges in life are all about, really. And that approach, I can assure you, got me through the most challenging time of my life.
It's a good one, and it's also a nice metaphor to have, an easy one to remember.
Yes, right.
Bernard, I wonder if you have anything else to add to this.
I don't actually have one singular thing that I can keep remembering. Obviously, there were some instances where I wonder how did I manage to go through those times. But I think one of the learning lessons is that you have to equip yourself with a good team of people around you that are supporting you. Even if needs be, coaching really helps. It helped me a lot to learn and to equip myself with knowledge. I believe that knowledge is power. So the more knowledge you have when you share your challenges with others who are professionally trained to guide you in these situations, will equip you with more knowledge and more tools to use when things get tough. Because it's all based on planning, It's all based on planning, and if you plan well and you prepare your team for tough situations, if you manage to build a good fortress, then when things get tough, you have a good tool and a good team to work with. If your team is exhausted just before arriving towards and starting the crisis, they will collapse. Obviously, it's you have to consider it's like a mini war every time. You have to prepare yourself very well, because obviously it's going to be a big fight against yourself. It's going to be very challenging and very tough. So emotionally and spiritually, sometimes physically a lot, and you'll feel like everything is crumbling in front of you. So you have to prepare yourself well. If you're not fit for it, it might hit you hard, So planning and preparing yourself and your team.
Yes.
Obviously, because then if the team is prepared, you can delegate, and the team feels trusted, and this culture of supportive culture keeps growing, and that's what I think.
Yeah, I think you've both have there's a common thread in really getting out of the situation instead of being stuck in the thoughts that are squashing me, but asking for a coach, asking for help, for someone to help you really see it, not from in the football pitch, but from that, Steve's famous helicopter view, which makes it look a lot more, it allows you to see your next strategic move for sure. And you've touched on this already, Ben, but I want to kind of dig a bit deeper. Burnout, we know, is a real thing, okay? And even if I talk about my own experience as a coach, I am facing many more requests in link to burnout, or the sense of burnout, too close, the sense of feeling, really squashed, stretched, and all sorts of, flexibility there. It's a real thing. It's an even more real thing, I think, when it comes to nursing. What strategies, apart from the ones you've already mentioned, and what techniques do you think could really help to prevent this, if at all?
I happen to pass through a burnout myself, so I know how hard it is. Waking up in the morning and not understanding whether it's good to go to work or not, whether you want to go to work, whether you want to face work again, or whether that sense of emptiness of whatever you do, nothing works. I think the best step is to just keep going. Okay, one of the tricks is I kept going even though it was hard, and I asked for help.
Yeah.
And having short breaks doesn't mean you go to Alaska for 3 months, but going for I used to go for a camping trip in Camino on my own to find myself, to try to get. I used to recharge, get strong again, then go back to work, and after a couple of months I fall back in it because I didn't have the right support. I felt at that time. Now I know what to do because obviously, as I mentioned, coaching helps a lot, and it helped me a lot. And apart from that, also to don't give up. I have little kids, and recently I was watching a movie, and there was a really good saying: just do the next right thing.
Yes.
The next right thing. Don't think of it as a big thing. Just go in small pieces and take it one piece at a time. Like like Steve mentioned, if you take a slice at a time, you can eat the whole piece of salami eventually. So yeah, just do the next right thing. Don't try to do everything at the same time, and to try to finish off and make things feel like a superhero, trying to, yes, I can take this, I can take this. Ask for help. Surround yourself with good people that can help you and guide you, and that's that.
And look for the wonderful things in your own life.
True.
So
Very
many
true.
of them.
Yes.
I feel lucky enough to have met so many people in their real end of life, and I've learned so many lessons from these people. You know, that put your priorities well in life.
Good,
you
nice
know,
structure to the system.
and like, you know, yes, sometimes you're stressed about things which are really trivial, and then you meet someone who's dying and he tells you, I wish I have my family next to me, because they don't care about me anymore. You know, and you know they worked all their life, and their family just, you know, they pushed everyone away just because they really worked so hard. You know, so putting your priorities back in life.
Yes,
So
that's it, I think.
it's crucial.
True.
Keeping yourself healthy.
Very beautiful stuff. And to me, your story is one I like. I love career transitions. Okay, it fascinates me, the transferable skills, and that's it, between nursing and entrepreneurship. Both challenges of their own, and I think our audiences probably are more on the entrepreneurship side, so it's an interesting one. What parallels do you see between the healthcare industry, the managing a business, particularly when it comes to performance under pressure?
Well, I think I can't say it was easy, obviously. Nothing is.
Also, the timing, I think, was a
exactly
post-COVID world is an interesting time to start.
I started exactly in COVID time.
COVID world, exactly.
So, but I saw it as an opportunity to start slowly.
Yes.
You know, so I said, listen, I can start slowly, and eventually I had a good team around me that were very supportive. So it was very good. Family is very supportive, so I'm very lucky at home. So that helps a lot. But yes, I think the parallels is to don't give up. You know, I mean, entrepreneurship can be, you'll finish in situations where you feel like, oh, I think I better close down. This is too much. This is too much. Or I didn't know about this. You know, get these wow or letter from someone saying, what about this? What's this? so it always boils down to planning again. You know, so I'm a person that loves challenges a lot. So I think that taking these challenges on board and facing them well is a good thing.
Okay, cool. And we're rounding up to the end. I think my curiosity to both of you, both as entrepreneurs and business leaders, what advice do you have to offer to other entrepreneurs and business leaders when it comes to performing under pressure and really driving success in their ventures? We've said planning. Anything else that we want to add?
Cultivating a supportive environment to the team. If the team feels happy not to do mistakes, they'll help you a lot. So you'll find people being flexible with their job descriptions, and you'll get the accountant getting calls from clients, you know. So you get people being flexible in their role, and eventually the supportive environment helps to get things done quicker. You know, so being flexible is crucial during times of stress. So
perfect.
Following on is this healthy body, healthy mind, healthy environment.
Yes.
You know, I don't mean completely over the top on that, but
no.
But as you said, not encouraging these long working hours. In fact, encouraging proper working hours. Encourage people to take their vacations, holidays, breaks, weekends. You know, and let's get rid of this mental state of we work holiday. I don't have any holidays. I work through public holidays. I work weekends. You know. You don't have to do this.
No, I think this is, I'm really glad you're closing with this. To me, it really is the opportunity to stop making it look so attractive to work so much. But that being a holistic person is better. Have your family, have your hobbies, have your work, and really make it attractive to more people to want to be in your position like that. Because
I'm sure Bernard's patience. He talks about end of their life would be saying very similar
The same
things.
thing. Definitely, definitely. And I think that's it. Unfortunately, when pressure hits, we forget the things which are important to us, which is take care of your body, take care of your health, and this is valuable. Excellent. Thank you very much, Bernard, for joining us today. Thank you for Steve to add those extra wise words, and thank you guys for listening in. We hope you join us on another episode. Of course, if you're enjoying this, please stay subscribed. We really truly believe that the journey of success is even better when shared. Until next time, thank you.